talk about what is called a progress bar. Let's say in a situation whereby you see something, all those kind of a loading kind of thing, like maybe you open your application, you see something that's loading, that kind of a thing. When it comes to that of Tkinter, it's called a progress bar. So that's basically what we're going to do in this video. But we're going to import a method, okay, so we're going to import a module from this of our Tkinter module, and the name is going to be TTK. With this TTK, we can then implement that of our progress bar. This is just basically simple. So we're going to say from our Tkinter, we want to import this of the module, which is called, we want to import this our TTK. With this TTK, we can initialize of our progress bar. So let me say I want to do it down here. This in our previous video, this is what with a list box here, nothing really much. So to create out of the progress bar, just definitely simple from the name progress bar. From the name progress bar should explain to you what this actually does. Progress bar. But if you are still getting it complete, when we do this example, you are going to understand it. So I'm going to say what progress. So we're going to say that of TTK that we imported or what progress bar. And this progress bar tend to take other parameters, like you can, the first parameter is going to take is that of our what we use the variable we used to initialize our application. Our case is was main, which was here, so we're going to set main here, which is the first thing. And the second thing that it takes, we can set the length for it, but let's set the length to 100. You know, the length is how long is it going to be. Let's set the length to what? It's more like 100% length type of a thing. So, but we're going to tweak this so we can see how actually works. So the next thing we actually take is that of value. Let's say in a situation we want it to be starting with the value 20 or value 30. When I mean value, I mean like since we set this to set the value, if we set the value 50, so it's going to be like 50% kind of a loading bar. But let's set the value to something like that of 10. Then the next we are going to do, let me create a variable that holds it. I'm going to say progress. Then we can pack it on the screen. Progress what pack. So let's try packing it on the screen. So we get this kind of little guy down here. Don't mind all this other guy that's in front, but look at this loading kind of effect of down here. So let's try tweaking it like that. Tweaking it to something like this value. Let me set it to something like 30 so we can see example. Let me close this. Let me run this. You can see I get this kind of loading. I see from 0 to 30. You can see how neat it was looking. So if I set it to something like something like 50, is going to be half. One of that 50 is half of 100. So you can see with this kind of loading effect, we can set this 100. Setting the 100 is just going to make this box a little bit longer, which it doesn't even make sense unless in a situation whereby you want it to be like that. But you can see how they can use this thing in a situation where you want something to just want to display kind of a loading simulation, kind of a loading effect that before something get done, this thing has to completely load up. We can create a while loop that are going to keep on increasing the value till it gets filled up. So, but I just want us to look at this, how this progress by a whole lot of other things. This progress bar can be made use of, like I've explained, where you want to, maybe when you created an application, for example, and the application once wanted to have a kind of interesting and loading effect on it before the application gets on, like how your normal game actually works. Know your game load before you start playing again. So with this loading effect, you can achieve this. So I think there's not really much for us to talk about in this loading effect. To do an example or project making use of this loading effect, I'm going to understand it really more. So I think this should be the end for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll be happy to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.